All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a live for you guys and gals. Let me link the Facebook page there for you guys. If you'll please follow me there. All right, so getting over to this, let me be clear up front. We are only accepting fitness topics, no nonsense. I'm going to be polite and respectful to everyone here. I'm going to ask the same in return. So one of the things I wanted to address, I kind of brought it up in the stream earlier this morning. While doing my cardio, I saw something come through from Paul Carter, came right through my feed, a video he did. He's saying the exact same things I am about bulking, the exact same things about the fact that we can all lean gain, the fact that all the studies show we can recomposition. He's even saying again that, like I'm saying, you may not even require any calorie surplus to make good gains in muscle growth. Right? Because a lot of that's covered by maintenance. So your TDEE, which is going to go up as you gain muscle anyways, right? Your TDEE actually covers most of the muscle building process. That's why those studies are now showing, when they're getting exact with modern equipment, they can measure it, that literally a 50 calorie surplus a day produces just as much muscle growth as a 10% does, but without all the fat. Like there's no difference. So in other words, literally a 10% calorie surplus does not put 1 gram of muscle on you faster than, say, a 50 calorie surplus does, 40 calorie surplus. And since recomposition is possible, particularly when the training is dialed in, you're good. And he said the same thing, literally the same thing I've been saying, that if your training is dialed in, that's where the muscle growth stimulus happens. And it's just simply not necessary. He even said the same thing I did about, so if you gain weight faster, your deadlift won't necessarily go up, because there's no leverage advantage, but there is your squat and your bench press will go up. Fat and water will both make those go up, but it doesn't mean you're going to get more muscle growth, because it's just changing your leverages. It doesn't mean that you're recruiting more muscle fibers as a result. So that's what we're dealing with. And it's simply unnecessary for us to gain body fat at all to gain muscle. And if we go off all the literature, even in advanced athletes, this has been found repeatedly for years. Recomposition is completely impossible. It's completely possible, right? It happens. I am drinking whey protein. Like I just got 10 pounds of optimal nutrition I need to open up. I haven't even opened it. I'm going to put a picture up on social media later. Oh, this is the Mootopia 2% with extra omega-3 in it. With some optimal nutrition chocolate whey. This is the one processed food I eat, which is just protein, right? It's protein. Everything else is whole foods. It's all meat, eggs, vegetables, right? So like even today I've had chicken thighs, I've had omega-3 eggs, spinach, right? Spinach, avocado, and red peppers has been what I've eaten so far, plus all this protein. Cookie, I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. And here you go. So I'll give you a shout out and a flex, right? Give you a shout out. Thank you so much for the donation, Cookie. And this isn't a new shirt, by the way. I have like 5 or 6 of this exact shirt. I've had them a while. No, it's not new. If you guys remember, I brought in the stream, someone said that, and I came and brought like 6 of these shirts in. I buy these by the truckload. I don't even know where I got it. I don't even remember. I think off Amazon. I got some of them at some other places. I definitely have some stuff from Rock Roll and Soul. I grabbed these off of Amazon too and stuff. They're just regular button-down shirts. All right, here you go. There's my forearms. All right. How Coach B looking today? All right. Yeah, and we're getting leaner. You guys have seen the footage. You've seen the pictures lately. I mean, I'm getting leaner. We're going to get a lot leaner in the next couple of weeks again. But we're still strong, right? I pulled 550 for a triple. Test and Primo. No, I don't use any oils. Cookie, since you donated, I'll tell you what I'm on. And that's fair because people ask. Let me just be straightforward, no BS, to the point. Okay? Since you're asking and you donated $10, I'm on 500 test sip and 300 primo per week. That's what I do. That's why I'm looking bigger. Michael, you think I need to lose? How much do you think I weigh right now, Michael? You're talking about 170, right? Michael, what do you think I weighed this morning? So that you understand how much weight you think I need to lose. What do you think I weigh right now? Benji hit it exactly to the pound. Benji, you literally hit the nail on the head to the exact pound. Did you just up your recently? Yeah, a little bit. I added more tests and stuff in. Which is one reason I filled out a lot. I doubled my test from 250 to 500 not that long ago. Like 6 weeks ago or so. So, did you hurt yourself on that last fail? What do you mean? What do you mean I hurt myself? No, I'm good, dude. Right? You saw me do an hour of cardio today. Linus, did I not get on camera and walk around with a 50-pound weight vest on for an hour in camera this morning? Couldn't be too hurt. All right. Now, next time I'll go ahead and put the belt back on. I think I'll just try to do 415 for an AMRAP. Huckleberry, I am 215 lean. There's no possibility. Okay. All right. Hey, Massey, I'm not going to answer that in any detail. All right. So where are we at on other questions? Cookie says, appreciate the donation there. For a moderate enhanced guy, 1 to 1.5 grams of AS plus each, how lean can we? Ooh, dude, that's a lot. Right? How lean can we recomp to? Probably pretty dang lean, dude. That's a lot. Definitely under 10%, dude. That's a lot of gear, dude. Especially with growth. There's no reason you can't get down under 10% while making gains while doing that. Coach, would box front squats be more beneficial to your high bar squat? I'm doing front squats today, and I'm contemplating whether to do regular back off sets or box sets. I don't know that I would advocate box front squats for that, right? Michael, there's no need for me to look into that. There's simply no reason to think that that's true. I don't need to look into what Frank is saying. We could look at data and logic and just say Frank is just kind of saying whatever he wants to say. I mean, I don't know why I need to research it. If I research it and read him saying it, all I'm reading is Frank saying it. Doesn't mean there's any reason to believe it's true just because it's Frank saying. Cookie says, yeah, coach, so far I'm staying the same body weight, but looking leaner each week. Cookie says, haven't used Trend. I feel like you don't need it. I agree. You don't need it. You can get just as good a gains, much safer, and keep the gains better. Keep in mind, Trend is notorious for the gains fading. What are your thoughts on Jefferson curls, aka the Snapinator? When someone told me what that was, I didn't understand, and I still haven't looked it up. I don't really understand what the Jefferson curls are. I don't know why they're calling them curls. It seemed like it was a back exercise, not a curl. So it seemed weird. I don't know why people have to come up with these weird names for things that don't make sense, and they could just call exercises by their description. Trim makes me a ton of anxiety, even at 70 milligrams a week. Yeah, that's common. A lot of guys get mental side effects on it. That's why I tell people be very, very cautious of it. I'm not a fan of it as I've gotten older. Right? A lot of younger guys like it for a lot of reasons, but it's just not. It's not worth it in terms of the side effects, in my opinion. It just simply isn't. I don't know, right? Like Bayesian curls, Kelso shrugs. Yeah, why do we need these crazy names? It makes it really difficult to follow what the exercise is. Stop giving them these weird names and just describe them for what they are. It would make communication a lot better, right? So, a flat dumbbell press, we don't need to call it a Bayesian press. We can just call it a flat dumbbell press. See how much easier that is to communicate? So instead of calling something a Jefferson curl, if you're called a Jefferson curl, it better be some sort of bicep exercise. You'll have, what do you mean by LVH? What's your blood work? My blood work's pretty decent overall. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, like all of it textbook perfect. Things like my red blood cell hematocrit tend to run high. I do have to watch my HDL. I know I don't have any left ventricular hypertrophy that I know of at this point. Playing Jeff Nichols and Mike the Midget is. Yeah, I don't know why they need to create all these weird names. Let's just call exercises by their function and description. We don't need to put people's names on them. It's not like they really invented these exercises anyways, right? The odds are they didn't. It's just kind of like when we call lean bulking or recompositioning. You get Doucette's trying to call it main gaining so that he can put his stamp and name on something that we've all been doing for years anyways. Dean says have very low HDL, more healthy fats. Add more healthy fats in your diet. Coach, how much test does it take to increase the risk of liver disease? I've never seen any data suggesting a correlation between test and liver disease as far as test itself. I mean, I guess in theory, enough of anything could damage your liver, but we've never seen, to my knowledge, elevated liver enzymes from testosterone in the lab. Thoughts on ARB blocker? No, I don't think it's required. But I don't think statin is a bad idea as being mandatory in general. I don't think statin's a bad idea at all if you're going to be enhanced. Is it healthier overall? Massive, not necessarily. Depends. Do you have low testosterone? And then we would ask the question of, is gear automatically a health risk? Not automatically. I mean, compared to the lifestyle of the average American, like if you're going to compare running a little test to being a moderate drinker, I think being a moderate drinker is considerably more dangerous. Right? I think eating junk food is considerably more dangerous. But we get into the same thing of a dose-dependent relationship. What are you using? Do we have any real evidence that say, 500 tests a week, based upon the clinical research that we have, is really any sort of significant health risk? Data doesn't support it. Is it potentially? Sure, but you don't have evidence of it. So to understand the difference. Whereas in, say, something like alcohol, we have clinical direct evidence that one drink a week is a health risk. You can prove that. Opinion on white rice in my diet. Depends on if you just need the empty starches or not. Keep in mind it's usually fortified. There's some stuff in it. Do you need just the pure carbohydrate, the glucose in your diet for the glucose calories? Well, it might make sense. So it's not I don't have a direct opinion, good or bad. It's going to be very specific of what you're doing with your diet and digestion and what you need for energy intake, and if you're choosing starches over fats or whatever else. So I don't think that there's a straightforward, hey, what's your opinion? It's a very subjective one. I struggle to control blood pressure even with an R blocker. Any thoughts around 130 or 75? Yeah, 130, a little high. That's not terrible. To be honest, that isn't bad considering the amount you're using. You're doing pretty good. 130 over 75. I mean, ideally, you want to get that ratio of the systolic and diastolic a little better. All right. B. Linus says, I only drink wine once in a while. I would never push on someone with wine in a good state. For me, works. I agree. Alcohol is just a huge setback for the body. Yeah, it absolutely is. Benji's right. Cookie says optimizing sleep plays a huge role in blood pressure. Also lose fat. More potassium and magnesium. Yep, I agree with that. Lower sodium a bit, add more potassium, get sleep on point. He's already working on getting lean. He's not bulking. He's recomping, but he's on a lot of stuff. All right, he's on over a gram plus some growth. That's a lot. So, Cookie, what are you weighing? Because that's a lot of gear, man. What is your height and weight right now? I generally like the less is more. I'm at pretty much my upper threshold of what I'm willing to even use. No, I've gained weight. I was down to like 207 a couple months ago, so I'm drifted back up. But it's been all lean. Like I'm probably leaner now by a hair than I was at 207. 5'8", 220 with 11% of visible abs. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So you're definitely a little bigger than me, which makes sense. You're on more gear. How old are you? But I think Benji's definitely right. Potassium to sodium ratio will do really, really well for you, particularly given that your stack will impact aldosterone. No, I'm not trying to bulk Cookie. The scale went up due to the extra test and stuff in spite of not bulking. Hey Massey, this is a different era, dude. You'd be surprised how good some of them are. Coach, you think body enhancing drugs will soon be legalized in certain sports? Um, I'm hoping so, actually. To be fair, who pushed it? Who pushed PEDs being outlawed to the degree that they are? Anybody know the name of the politician in America? Like the original like Steroid Control Act that was pushed through the Senate. Does anyone know which senator was the primary senator who drafted it and signed on it? Is the top name on the list? Curious who all knows who this actually was. It was a person by the name of Senator Joe Biden was the one who pushed that through and made the passionate speeches on the Senate floor about the purity of baseball. All right. Michael, there's zero cancer in my family, to my knowledge. At least my biological family. Married family, plenty of it. When is Alexander Leonidas coming back as his Fruity Bear movie? I don't know. He probably isn't. Cookie says, thinking of swapping my EQ for Primo. Dude, I think it'll be much cleaner. Yeah, that'll help a lot. That'll help a lot. Same thing with the test. Just keeping in mind, watch your ratios on test to Primo. It will crash your E2 if you're not careful. So, well, Massey, in that case, then you may want to consider going to your doctor and getting it. It's not like doctors won't prescribe test DECA and ADEX for the right price, even at bodybuilder amounts. Well, not true bodybuilder amounts, but you know what I mean. Plenty of them do it, dude. I've literally had clients who go and do it. Cookie, because people don't understand Primo, they don't understand the dry gains, the benefit. When do you see the full effects? It doesn't work like that, Papa. Are you coming? I don't know what that means. Hey Gary, I don't understand what the term ring at means. Could you translate that into layman's terms for me? I don't watch VS, so I don't know if he has 18-inch arms. So you're asking me about someone whose channel I don't follow. I don't have an answer. All right. Now I'm going to see if the people posting this are totally new profiles. They are new profiles. Okay. Fitness posting, I was just wondering you're looking master today. Hey Gary, I don't understand what you're asking me. The fitness posting, I was just wondering. Thoughts on sugar-free artificial sweeteners have been a lifesaver from a sweet tooth. Yep, absolutely. Your opinion, a guy who's not trying to win a bodybuilding show, how much I think they should stay under a gram. Right? Thoughts on sugar-free Jello? I like the white chocolate flavor. Yeah, sugar-free Jello is really useful for people, especially trying to maintain calorie control. Artificial sweeteners can be really useful there, and definitely things like sugar-free Jello can work wonders for people who need to lose weight. Right? Again, handles that sweet tooth, all those things. Also, guys, I'm not going to run this one super long because you guys got live streams while I was walking, right? So I'm probably not going to run this one real long. Swap Greek yogurt, swap Jello for Greek yogurt. Hey, Benji, what I've also told people, the sugar-free Jello, the sugar-free Jello with Greek yogurt on top also works really well. P22 currently. So you're on doctor prescribed TRT. Here's what I might say there, Pete. Depends on if you're wanting something you get from the doctor. DECA works in that case, and then you have the doctor to make sure it's real. right? That's an option. And then you can also then control E2 through your doctor. So that's an option. EQ, though, again, keeping in mind, falls more into the area. EQ is going to fall more into the area of a little more estrogen controlled for people who are trying to do that. And trying to control E2 without using an aromatase inhibitor. Oh, Jesus. These people. So in that case, Pete, that's an option. Although if you're going to go underground, I could just as easily tell you Primo or Mast would be a good addition. But again, keeping in mind when you start adding DHTs and things, it will affect your estrogen. But you're getting that looked at by a doctor anyway, so they can adjust for that. So it's just a matter of what you're trying to do. Like there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. I do consultations on that also, by the way, if you want to hit me up. And I can go into detail of what your different options are. Rather than go into a lot of that in one of these, I prefer to do that more in private. Are chicken thighs classed as a junk food? No, why would they be a junk food? Not that much fat in them. It's still like 90% protein. Dean, you do know that like a whole pound of those chicken thighs like you see me put up online, it's only like 15 grams of fat in the whole pound. Diablo, I want 2 core exercises for all parts of core for combat sports. Hanging leg raises, cable crunches would be good. Weighted crunches. Thoughts on refined oils? I generally don't recommend you consume refined oils for the most part. All right. I think refined fats in general are just not a wise idea, whether it's oils or butter. And I know the butter people freak out when I say that. There's a whole cult of butter online right now. For an average height guy who is a lean 10 to 12%, would you say is big arm? For an average guy, a 15-inch lean arm is big. A 15-inch, people are going to notice your arms walking down the street if you're lean. All right. Cable crunches and hang leg, right? You sure they don't work them at all? I think they do. Is it optimal for obliques? No. If you want to optimize your obliques, and do some oblique work. But to say that hanging leg raises don't work them at all? Cookie says, I got 16-inch lean natty at 5, yeah. Coach, would you eat McDonald's regularly if food's going to be? No, wouldn't, Jamie. I don't cook in beef tallow. I don't cook in stuff like that. Do added fats like that. If I do, they're going to be healthy fats, healthier, right? I get my fats from things like avocados. I do fish oil because I don't eat fish. I do extra strength fish oil. But if I ate fish, I would eat salmon. Hey, those would be my fat sources. But I do omega-3 eggs. I do avocados. Those are my fat sources. I do a bunch of beef tallow. And same thing with McDonald's. It's still refined junk. Russian twist is good. Yeah, it's a good exercise. Do you ever crave unhealthy foods? Yeah, occasionally. I crave pizza every now and then. I haven't had any in 9 months. But I crave it. I might do a cheat meal on Christmas Day. I do a cheat meal on Christmas Day. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wind this one down. We're 30 minutes in. This has been a pretty productive, decent one. So I appreciate the donations, Cookie. I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals, and I will talk to you next time. If you guys remember before I'm shot before we go.